Yo, what's up, guys? I cannot believe what I am about to say. I cannot believe he's coming back. Kawhi Leonard is returning to the Toronto Raptors for Brandon Ingram, guys. Grady Dick, a first round pick, two first round picks, a pick swap, and two second rounders, guys. I cannot believe it. 7 years after Kawhi Leonard left the defending NBA champion Toronto Raptors, guys. He is coming back to Toronto. I am honestly at a loss for words, guys. I am shocked. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm obviously still a little bit bitter about how he left. He should have never left, of course, guys. I think a lot of Raptors fans agree that he made a mistake going home to Los Angeles. I understand back 7 years ago, it was his desired plan. Told the front office, told everybody in Toronto he was here for 1 year, try to win a championship, and was going to go home. But I honestly would never thought a player would leave a championship team, literally 1 year after winning the damn title, of course. But he was the only player to ever do it, of course. I felt absolutely shocked. I felt betrayed at some points after he left. I said to myself, I will never forgive this player for possibly taking away a back-to-back championship or possibly a three-peat, where I honestly think, guys, that if he had stuck around this entire time, the Raptors would have multiple championships under their belt. Even Fred VanVleet has said it. Serge Ibaka has said it. Multiple former teammates of his have said it, that if he had stayed in Toronto, the Raptors probably won multiple titles, probably won in the bubble against the Lakers, probably would have beaten the Bucks in 21, then beaten Phoenix in the finals that year. That's just my honest opinion, guys. But unfortunately, that did not happen. He had 7 years in LA that just completely blew up in his face, if you ask me. Forced the Raptors to try to get Paul George here. Obviously, we did not want to trade Siakam at the time, and it was understandable, of course, so don't blame Masai Ujiri at all those years ago for not wanting to trade everybody just to get Paul George here. That ultimately did not work out for him, of course. Should have never left LA, like I said. Should have stayed in Toronto, could have won multiple titles. But at the end of the day now, guys, 7 years has passed. Sure, he's 35 years old, but he came off a great year with the Clippers, starting in 65 games, averaging 27 points per game, second team All-NBA, averaging over 6 rebounds a game as well, guys. Even though he's a little bit older, this is an absolute massive move by Bobby Webster and the Toronto Raptors front office, guys. After the Miami Heat acquired Giannis Antetokounmpo, this is an absolute massive move by the Raptors to get the man that absolutely neutralized Giannis in the Eastern Conference Finals back in 2019, of course, guys. Completely shutting down Giannis after going down 2-0 in this series, if we all recall. And the Raptors go on to win 4 straight, go on to the NBA Finals, of course, and we all know what happened there, So, just some incredible moments to think about. And then, obviously, of course, we got this moment right here, of course, against the Philadelphia 76ers in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, guys. To know now that I can wake up every morning and look at this picture knowing that he came back and has apparently committed to signing an extension. Of course, he said he was the only team that he'd be willing to sign an extension with. Just a completely absolute turn of events after 7 years ago, guys, saying he'd only stay for the year, like I mentioned, to say that the Raptors would be the only team for him to extend with. Clearly familiarity is a valuable asset with Kawhi Leonard, of course, coming back here with multiple people still in the regime, of course, of the Toronto Raptors front office, especially Bobby Webster, of course, who facilitated most of the move with Masai Ujiri to get him over here in Toronto all those years ago, guys. But to know that Kawhi is back now, to see that he said that he'd be willing to retire here as a Toronto Raptor, it's like all this man has to do now is come back here to Toronto, win himself another NBA championship and a Finals MVP, and for me, he will solidify himself as the greatest Toronto Raptor of all time if he can come back here and win us another title. But just think about it now, guys, with a guy like Scotty Barnes now. You add this guy here with his points per game and his defense. You got guys like Colin Murray Boyles, Jacoby Walter, Jamal Shea. These are guys that are great defensively. Obviously, CMB and Jacoby are improving massively offensively. Showed it in the playoffs. Of course, Raptors took Cleveland to 7 games. without Brandon Ingram, who obviously goes the other way to Los Angeles, of course. And I understand people are saying, oh, it's 2 draft picks, 2 first rounders. It's a haul for the Clippers. But honestly, I really don't give a shit. Brandon Ingram, we obviously know, was a great scorer, had some great moments here in Toronto, was a liability defensively. Same with Grady Dick. Grady Dick just completely lost himself this year as a shooter, lost himself defensively at times. Grady Dick just really, unfortunately, didn't pan out here. Wish them both nothing but the best. To be getting a guy like Kawhi Leonard, this absolutely puts the Raptors in the upper echelon of the Eastern Conference once again, guys. Knowing that the Raptors are going to probably be, again, competing for championships for the next 3 years is absolutely so exciting, to say the least. With the players we got with CMB and Jacoby and Shed, like I mentioned, guys like Scotty, of course, the Raptors defensively are going to be great. I understand we still have Jakob Poeltl. Hopefully we can try to offload him. I understand Emmanuel Quickly still on this team. He's got a big paycheck, of course, and obviously he has his issues defensively as well, but bringing in a guy like Kawhi, who's got that championship mindset, championship mentality, one of Scotty Barnes' favorite players, of course. This is absolutely a massive move for the team. Guys, going to completely change the identity for the Raptors. We obviously saw at times this year where the Raptors had difficulty sometimes closing out games, especially in the fourth quarter. Who better than to get a 2-time Finals MVP, a guy that knows the city, is familiar with the city, and this guy here, as we know, is obviously a bloody god here in Toronto, guys, winning a championship. Like I said, I'm still bitter that he left, should have never left, but to welcome back Kawhi Leonard now, he's going to get a godlike welcome. Of course, the fans are going to absolutely erupt the first game of the season when his name gets called out. It's going to be absolutely incredible, guys. But what this does for the team defensively, offensively, what this does in free agency now, does this maybe bring in other veterans, of course, maybe other free agents that want to come and play in Toronto, knowing that they have a massive opportunity now to play with great players like Scotty and Kawhi. So this is absolutely such a massive move for the Raptors, guys. I'm just still in shock when I saw 2 days ago that the Raptors and Clippers were engaged in conversations for Kawhi. He wanted to come back to Toronto. My jaw absolutely dropped, because I had a stance about this man for 7 years, saying it multiple times in the past. How can you leave a champion? You show no backbone leaving, going home, just you couldn't leg it up for one more year trying to win another title. I was completely bitter regarding this man, but to now know that he has chosen to come back here, forced his way back here, going to sign an extension, wants to retire here possibly, wants the Raptors to win, knowing that the Raptors have the team and the possibility of getting back to the NBA Finals, trying to win a second NBA championship in franchise history, guys. Exciting times ahead for us Toronto Raptors fans, guys, to know that Kawhi Leonard, one of the leaders of this team back in 2019 when the Raptors won their first NBA championship, Finals MVP, completely turned things on its head. The shot against Philly, making the switch on defense against Giannis to completely flip the Eastern Conference Finals on their head. And I understand they had a little bit of luck in the finals with KD obviously tearing his Achilles, Klay Thompson blowing out his knee. But this is absolutely such a great day for Raptors fans, guys. June 30th, 2026. The day the Claw returns. And listen, there was signs as well. Kawhi obviously opened up a gym in Scarborough. Always spoke fondly about this city. So you knew there were signs that he was flirting with his ex a little bit. And now you know that there was some serious reasoning behind that, because Kawhi Leonard and his family are now coming back to Toronto. And that's another key factor as well. His little boy, his son, him and his wife were expecting when they were here in 19, had the baby here, born in Toronto, Canada, said it once that he wanted to bring his son back to his birthplace, and now his father has brought him back home to Toronto. Guys, get this man some plants, because Kawhi's back now, and we got some championships to try to redeem now, because I really hope to God now that this man fully redeems himself, brings another championship back to this city, and will fully cement himself as the greatest Raptor of all time. Love Kyle Lowry, was here 9 years, did so much things for this franchise, but if Kawhi Leonard finds a way to win a championship and a Finals MVP, guys, after leaving 7 years ago to return to Toronto, I don't think there's a better storyline than that to name this man the greatest Raptor of all time, guys. So, exciting shit ahead. Free agency opens up tomorrow. The news about LeBron James not going back to the Los Angeles Lakers, and possibly going to the Golden State Warriors after Draymond Green declined his $27.7 million option. If LeBron James has any ideas about going to pair up with Stephen Curry, us Raptors guys, Bobby Webster better load up, because we cannot allow LeBron James to win a 5th ring with Stephen Curry. Kawhi Leonard has to stop that man and stop that team from winning another title. Imagine Raptors Warriors in the finals, guys, 7 years later. It would be absolutely storybook, to say the least. I am so excited for this NBA season ahead, guys. Let's see what Bobby Webster can do. Maybe he can offload Jakob Poeltl. Maybe he can offload quickly. Let's wait and see if he has any other moves up his sleeve. Of course, obviously had to trade a lot of picks, had to trade BI. Grady did wish them both nothing but the best, but it was a move that was absolutely necessary. Now, the Raptors are back in championship win-now mode, guys. 7 years after winning their first championship. Man, oh man, this feels good, man. It just felt like yesterday when the Raptors traded DeMar and Jakob Poeltl to the Spurs for him. I got that feeling again when I saw that the Raptors traded Kawhi today, guys. Those feelings are running through my body once again. I am super, super excited to see what he can do. If the Raptors doctors Alex McKechnie can keep him healthy, of course, manages minutes like he did 7 years ago, even though he's a bit older, I expect great things this season for the Toronto Raptors, guys. Possibly can win 50 to 55 games this year if everything pans out the way we expect. But let's wait and see. Don't want to get too ahead of myself. This team is still not done yet being built. I feel Bobby Webster has a couple other moves up his sleeve, guys. But this is a great day for Raptors Nation, guys. The Claw is back. He has returned back to his second home now to Toronto, guys. Absolutely incredible shit, to say the least. The NBA does not disappoint, man. It's absolutely incredible how every bloody summer there is massive, massive moves happening in the NBA, guys. Juicy, juicy shit. First, the Maple Leafs draft Gavin McKenna. Now Kawhi Leonard's returning to Toronto. Just incredible shit is happening in Toronto right now, guys. Great shit to see. We'll love to hear everyone's thoughts and opinions on the Claw returning back to Toronto, guys. Look, like you like this video. Subscribe if you guys want to see more content. Go Raptors, go as always, guys. We'll see you guys on the next episode of Raptors Unfiltered. Ciao, guys.